the you are welcome back to the temple tonight. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us from. It is Mayegun live. And I feel cold. Please read the caption of the broadcast as usual, okay? Then read the description as well. Like the broadcasts. Then share it to invite your friends, your not so friendly friends, and just tell them that Mayegun today. Glory Facebook. And yes, you like Odua. And yes, you like a Yoruba socio-cultural group has come out, led by Fapohunda, to lay claim to the rumored regional system of government, the bill and the proposal. They have just told us now that by this time tomorrow, a copy of their new proposal, 8 regions, will be submitted and it will be received by Tinubu. Tag your friend from the north. They should watch this broadcast. How many of you remember when we said that they will soon tell us that they need to buy new aircraft for Shitty Man and Kolu? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the House Committee on National Security, they have now proposed that as a matter of urgency, Nigeria must buy a new aircraft, 2 new aircrafts, one for Shitty Man, one for Kolu, as a matter of national emergency. Sorry for the late start. So thank you so much for joining me. This is Mayegun live. So without wasting much of our time, ladies and gentlemen, the rumored regional system of government that you have been hearing about and all that, the copy that we read on this platform a while back, they have told us now that the 2024 copy of the proposal for Nigeria to return back to regional system of government, parliamentary system, and all of that. But just like, as usual, this individual or these individuals, they consulted themselves, read all the bogus, artificially drawn borders that they called states in Nigeria. And so they came up with 8 regions. So Nigeria is not to break up, but for Nigeria and Nigerians to progress at this point, they are proposing 8 regions. I'll tell you what they put forward, okay? So they said, because according to the guy, right, he said, the southeastern, in fact, let me quote a part of what he said. He said, according to he said, his coalition is proposing to have the southern region to be made up of Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, and Cross River states. And their optional inclusions of the Anang, Efik, Ekoi, Ibibio, Oro, I don't know if I pronounce that right, Oro or Haji in southern Imo, Diadonia, Efemia, Ijo, Ogoni, Beni, Ishan, Isoko, Yoruba, and Ijo-speaking people in northern Ondo states with land contiguity, whatever that means. But going forward, they said the southeastern region consists of Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo State. So just repeating the 5 existing states. That's what their proposal is popping up, right? However, I said the western region comprises Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, Oyo, and Ekiti, as usual, right? So instead, incorporating the Yoruba-speaking people in Kogi and the Bomino people in Kwara. Additional options would be the Shekiri people of Delta State and Akoko Edo people of Edo State to make their respective choices. So they said others rather includes the Midwestern region made up of Edo and Delta states. So possibly incorporating the Anioma people and the Eastern Middle Belt region comprising Northern Cross River, Southern Kaduna, Southern Borno, Adamawa, Benue, Kogi, Plateau, Nasarawa, and Taraba states. So this will be the Midwestern region. So the Western Middle Belt region, right? They said will comprise the Southern Kebbi, part of Kwara, and Niger states, while the Northeastern region would be made up of part of Borno's Gombe, Jigawa, and Yobe states. Now, also, as part of the report, okay, he added that his coalition is also proposing a 2-tier government, federal and regions, with the regions at liberty to manage our affairs, including the creation of sub-entities based on the stipulation that are agreed upon and embedded in their respective constitutions. He added, in the quest for reconfiguration and downsizing, an option to consider might be to retain the present boundaries of the 36 states, which means let us keep the artificial boundaries. However, let's draw another artificial one, which this time around, they believe is better than the current artificial one. But keep following. He said, as would have been adjusted, but to creatively downgrade the paraphernalia of political administrations as follows. To introduce a new regional government framework with executive and legislative functions and bodies with the headship title of Premier. In the new dispensation, the present state, which is the current Nigeria, for example, the six in the Western region, right, said will be converted to provinces. The states will be converted to provinces. Governance at this level shall be by provincial council that integrate executive and legislative functions with chairman and support specialist administrative officers. The regions shall be at liberty to create provinces subject to viability and self-sustainability. Also, they said the present local government areas are to be transformed into divisions with divisional managers and specialist administrative officers to operate as socio-economic development institutions. The new provinces shall also be at liberty to create divisions subject to viability and self-sustainability. So their coalition also says there will be, so they say a new constitution to embody novelties, including freedom of the religions to create, merge or reconfigure their sub-political units and may adopt provinces, divisions or districts as may suit their circumstances without interference from any other authority. Regions and sub-regional entities are to be reconfigured such as would reduce the cost of public and civil service administration to less than 20 to 30% of generated revenue. So they said in drafting their constitution, that means the regions and the provinces, the peoples of the respective regional territories will take a cue and also dismantle any arrangement or configuration that will favor the politicians and the political class, the cherry on the cake, with a focus on freeing resources for true development. A unicameral federal legislature comprising members that are elected at the discretion of the regions for which they would be representatives at Abuja. Decentralization of federal power in favor of not more than 10 regions on which there is a general national consensus rather than the presently unwieldy numbers of 36 states. These old states are inconsequential, indeed, in being a viable unit of a truly federal system of government. So this is on and on and on and on like that is what they are going to submit to Tinubu. But you know why? Well, let's call it a proposal, okay? Listen, it is a proposal asking the current ruiners of Nigeria to sack themselves. Do you understand that? Like, you know what? Whatever structure you have right now that is giving you this leverage, now all of you would have to possibly sack yourselves and then recreate a new system that is all inclusive and truly federal. But you know the error in that, except the fact that Tinubu and his gang, with their own plan, so they will pick whatever they think it could be, just pick out of it and then send it to the National Assembly and then put a propaganda behind it, media bombardment. And then the next thing as well, it will just be like they've amended your constitution. So except for that, right? Nobody should sit anywhere. Are you with me? And write about how Nigeria should be divided. The only thing that everyone who is interested, okay, let's put it this way now. All of you are interested, professors, where they do research, and you are drawing your map, Nigeria, this type of government. All around people, Ijaw people, Yoruba people will merge with this one. This state and that state will be this region. Drop all of that nonsense. Okay? Just one thing is needed. One thing. But that one thing will bring an everlasting solution, everlasting peace than what you have now. And that is, instead of writing different funny proposals and bills from the corner of your bedroom, asking for new states, asking for 7 regions, 10 regions, 20 regions. How about somebody inside that place write a bill, propose a bill that is going to amend the trashy Decree 24, 1999 Constitution. Yes, let's use that as the little bridge that we are going to use, then burn it down to everybody's freedom, okay? So go inside there, stop all this nonsense or alteration of your trashy Constitution. Ask for a referendum. Yeah. You see, if you are able to include referendum, which according to the federal system of government, simply means federating units are supposed to be independent, right? That is to say, even before regions or anything, all right? It simply means people can, even all these states that cannot pay salary or pay anything, they can decide to come together and form just one single block and say they are no longer Nasarawa, Zamfara. We are no longer Kebbi. We are no longer this or that. We are all of us are merging together so that we won't have 3 governors, 4 governors. We won't have 4 House of Assembly. We will not have all this, we just have one. A proper constitution will allow you to decide that on so many things too, like to defend yourselves. In a federal system of government, right? You don't need the permission of any federal government. in your state to put together a security outfit, okay, to help you push off terrorists if you want. And it's only when that thing is out of your hand, you can now ask for the National Guard. That's when you will write to the president and say, hello, sir, I have been battling with these terrorists in my state or in my region. And it seems that we cannot defeat them without your help. We need you to give us the federal support. That is when you begin to see federal soldiers, all of them, specially trained. That's how a federating unit works. But nobody should sit anywhere and keep writing. You know, everything you have in Nigeria today, they were the imagination and creation of some few people, the owners of Nigeria. So I'm saying this now to those of you who probably will think, but it is positive. No, this is not positive. The positive thing to do, for those who have all this idea, is to mount pressure, stage, endless, whether you want to call it protest or sit out to force the hand of the rogues in Nigeria to convey another national conference or national discourse. Forget about those 20-something, 30-something-year-old nonsense report again. They are gone. They are no longer viable to the reality of today. All the nonsense, if you go and check all of their past report of national conference, some of them were those who were asking for old anthem. So forget about that nonsense. Like they should use this your pressure, right? Use them. If it doesn't have any sinister motive where some people are writing it or drawing it and designing how the Igbos should be, the Yorubas, this one should be. No, forget about that. Use that pressure to ask them to call for national conference with a mandatory, a mandatory warning that everything from that national conference, as it concerned the people of all part of Nigeria. Here you get now. Every resolution they come up with, the one that they agree to before the end of any conference, so they must be implemented before any election happen in Nigeria again. Do you understand that? And they can do all of this within 1 year. See, right now, Nigeria is at the precipice, is at the cliff. Its fall is going to claim tens, if not hundreds of thousands of lives by the time this Nigeria tip off the cliff. Economically, Nigeria is gone. By defense, security-wise, Nigeria is gone. Nigeria is a joke to the rest of the world. No matter the propaganda and all this nonsense they are popping up on your TV in Nigeria. That's why nobody is going to bring their investment to that place. You may think it doesn't mean anything. You will soon understand what it means. Go and read about Venezuela. So yeah, you have to, within a year, they can call it. And calling it means everyone, even just use the current local government areas. That is the closest. Okay, that's the closest. The division or the representation of the people in the project Nigeria. That's the closest you can get. It's supposed to be the closest government. I'm talking about when you look at how they compartmentalize Nigeria by local government, yeah, it is not adequate, right? But we can work with that. Let all those people from those local government areas choose their own representatives. 774 local government areas, yeah? Then let them bring in 33 people or 22 people. You don't need senatorial this, you don't need the royal father this, you don't need anybody. Let the people choose. No politician. If they decide to choose politician, that's fine. But let them choose everyone that will represent them with their own each proposal from their own area. Now give them time to sort all this and put all this together. And if the resolution then is that they still want to be part of the contraption, Nigeria, but under what condition? Now, you can do all of that within a year before any elections. So you see this one that they are sitting in their room, writing this, writing that. it's time for them to stop it. I think, right? Because what you are doing is that you are just giving the criminals like Tinubu and gang the opportunity to say, oh yeah, we are now going to look into your idea. Just wait till 2027 so that they can use all of that for their own political advantage. So Esther, Fapohunda, we will keep monitoring this, and then we'll see what is really behind all of this. And if you are suspicious of anything, you are probably absolutely right. Because that's how I suspected then that this one that they were telling us, Tinubu's plane, Tinubu's plane stopped working. The presidential jets had mechanical faulty. Every now and then, I knew it. The plan was that it's all going to come to one thing. These planes are old. And for the sake of national security, we will need to buy another plane. Not just for Tinubu, also for Shitty Man. So there's something I picked up, I picked up earlier. I will share that with you. So the House of Representatives in Nigeria, the House Committee on Defense, on National Security or something. So they came up and they said, from their investigation, okay, the presidential jets in Nigeria right now, they are old. The one that Tinubu is using is now 19 years old. The one that Shitty Man is using is also about 17 years old. And for the national security of Nigeria, it is advised that Nigeria should, as a matter of urgency, buy new aircraft for Tinubu and Shitty Man. Just the same way, they had to build a $13.5 million house for the vice president, Shitty Man. $13.5 million, 21 billion naira house. As if to say the former vice president, Pastor Ruga, was homeless, or he was bunking with he was bunking on a Bokwari's couch for 8 years. In 2019, the APC Egbekegbe released the propaganda, and that propaganda was that Pastor Ruga, the then vice president of Nigeria, rejected a vice presidential lodge of 7 billion naira. And ladies and gentlemen, this was just about 5 years ago. Now, fast forward that to 2020, 4 years later, 2023, where the wiki budgeted 15 billion to complete an already ongoing construction of a vice presidential lodge official. So he said he would need 15 billion. People protested, people complained, la 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 la. Finally, they told us it actually cost Nigeria 21 billion, finally. Those who complained about 15 billion, they heard about 21 billion, they were tired. They don't get muscle to shout anymore, unfortunately. But listen, the presidential fleet in Nigeria, right? Mind you, the person that is moving the motion for a new aircraft for Tinubu, his name is Mr. Satomi. That's his name, Honorable Satomi. So he said, according to them, right, they said in March 2023, on the 23rd of March, right? So the Share House Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Honorable Satomi, moved a motion on the floor of the House to investigate the breakdown of planes in the presidential fleet. He cited the reported malfunction of Mr. Tinubu's plane during a trip to the Netherlands, Mr. Shettiman's cancellation of a US trip, after his aircraft broke down. Some lawmakers, notably like in opposition, were like, no, you can't buy aircraft, right? But let me tell you, hang on, I want to give you the list of the aircraft in the Nigerian, what do you call it, in the Nigeria presidential fleet, right? So they have one Gulfstream for Tinubu. Let me give you the list here. So according to the reports, presidential fleet has 6 aircraft, one Boeing 737, a Gulfstream